I absolutely love tech. I love the fact that this little thing right here has more computational power than Ronald Reagan had at his disposal in the 80s. The data analytics that YouTube comes with, or that Google comes with. A lot of people talk about virtual reality and say the world is not ready for virtual reality yet. 3D technology. This is recycled paper. It can also lead to things like this. Kids are absolutely mesmerized by these little devices. Cyberbullying that's going on, they're contributing that to anxiety and depression. And think about all the data that's on the internet. And there's a lot of people looking for that because there's money in that. So there's all these kind of scary news around technology and how it's kind of changing us. To me, it's like a knife. A knife in the hands of most people is completely harmless, but in the hands of somebody with ill intention, a knife can be very, very dangerous. And I think it's the same here. Technology has always had a bad reputation. These are my grandparents, by the way. And my grandmother on the right was a good old Catholic woman. She was a bit more conservative. And then grandma got a TV. And all hell broke loose.
Well, it's one for the money, two for the show. You get ready now, go cat, go, but don't you step on my blue shoe.
And that was brought into the house by this technology called a TV. And TVs were evil. People thought that by the time the TV came in, this is the end of the world. People used to go around on horses, right? And then the locomotive came around, the locomotive, the steam train started coming out. And people said, this is the end of the world. People thought that by just being on a train, that they would actually physically die, that their bodies would just kind of self-combust because of the speed a steam engine had. Even earlier, book press. Plato said literally this: books suck. Because he believed that by the time we allowed this technology, the book press to come in, people would stop remembering things and it would dilute the information that was available. People have always been giving technology a lot of grief, whatever technology it was, however early it is. And I think we're in a similar era. But all tech eventually will become outdated. Every bit of tech will get to a point, it's completely pointless. However, there's always going to be challenges. There's climate change going on. I think there's an entire job market coming that is completely new. Apparently we're going to lose 50% of the jobs that we have now. There's still a very large part of the world that does not have access to really basic healthcare. There's a lot of elderly people by themselves, and I have a feeling that nobody's really looking after them. I mean, pollution is getting to a ridiculously crazy level. So we have a lot of problems, and we need to prepare a young generation of kids for these new and different problems. And these problems need new and different thinking. But technology is not always the answer. There's a couple of things that human beings do that I don't think machines and robotics and technology can replicate yet. There's a connection, a real, not a dial-up connection, like a real connection, and creativity. So I love technology, but sometimes it gets in the way. Sometimes it distracts from what's really important and from what we all want. I think we need fresh connections with different people. I think we need creative thinking for problems that will come. Technology will help us in some way, but I think before we get to technology, it's taking a step back, think a bit bigger, connect with the people around us, find out what they are looking for and how we can best help them.